2.
And we're back. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP. And what you have behind you, we will get into that in a minute. I will explain this graph, this chart to you. It's a little bit blurry, but I'm going to explain it to you in a minute. So for just a brief minute, wonder what it is behind me. And the actual name of the graph is ARP's proposed savings versus ARP's. What is she got there? I'm too far away. What does that say there? I got to get it. That's blurry to me. What's the top say?
I think it says instigated losses. Hopefully I'm reading that right.
Instigated losses. Okay, we'll take that. All right.
Okay.
Okay, now, we're going to be serious here. And the reason I call this the Blue Ridge City Council and the reason I call this Angieville is Councilwoman Angie Arp, okay, and there are some things on this that are missing, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But Councilwoman Angie Arp in Blue Ridge City Council has basically, since she has been sworn in, there's emails that show this. We do not have time to do a solid hour on this, but she is basically, a lot of what I'm saying is my opinion, but we can back it up with video and articles throughout her term as a council member in the Blue Ridge City Council. She's basically taken over the Blue Ridge City Council, okay? I actually like, and I don't know how that sounds out there to you guys, but I actually like Councilman Rodney Kendall, and I really like Harold Herndon. He's a great guy. Bruce Pack is, he's an okay guy, but it's obvious that many, I'm going to say, are in fear of Councilwoman Arp. I mean, let me just explain the makeup of the Blue Ridge City Council first and foremost. There's a mayor, which is Mayor Donna Whitener, and the way the charter is written, it's supposedly a weak mayor. The mayor is the CEO, but it's called a weak mayor system where the council puts together what direction they want the city to go on certain things, and they vote on it. And then it's the mayor's place, I'll just say it vaguely there, it's the mayor's place to implement that, okay? That being said, that is what they ran on, and they wanted to take the power from the mayor. Well, it's very obvious, we have the video to prove it, it's very obvious that Councilwoman Arp has taken over the entire council. Okay, and if she doesn't think she has, maybe she should go back and watch her own videos and listen to her own meetings. She is basically there. I was at a meeting a week ago when they were discussing arts in the park, and we're going to get to the school resource officers, and there's a reason we're going here, school resource officers. So I was at a meeting where they were talking about the arts in the park and the new arrangement of the park equipment, and it would hurt the Arts in the Park Festival and the vendors, and they would lose so many spaces and so forth. All right, and I was standing in the back of the room, and I was thinking to myself, at my age, I'm not going to go into my age, and at my age, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, hey, am I listening to, for almost 2 years, am I listening to where they plan to put a swing set? Now, I want the kids to have their park. But I'm thinking to myself, am I watching adults for almost 2 years decide where a swing set goes? Really? Wow. I mean, so on. Cole, what is under the FYN TV logo? What is that? Is that a jar? Huh?
Hey, that's your water bottle.
Is that my water bottle over here? No, yeah, okay. I didn't know what it was. Get it out of the way. Okay. School resource officers in the United States, it's become common after the attack on the school in Connecticut, okay, elementary school, and it is not the law. I'm going to say it's not the law, but it has become common that all schools have a resource officer. In most of the cities and the counties in the United States, the sheriff's office provides the school resource officers. Now, the determination on who pays that, it gets paid for out of your local sheriff's office. So for Fannin County, the local sheriff's office budget has a school resource officer and they work for the sheriff's office for Fannin County, West Fannin Elementary, East Fannin Elementary, Blue Ridge Elementary, the middle school, so on. They have a resource officer dedicated to each and every one, paid for out of the budget. Now, a certain amount of the money to the budget gets returned back from the county commissioner's budget, pays for so many. I don't know how much dollar-wise the Board of Education pays for the school resource officers, but I do know the Blue Ridge Elementary School, okay, Blue Ridge Elementary School, the resource officer there is paid for out of the budget of the city of Blue Ridge. So, Councilwoman Angie Arp has said that she wants to end that. Now, I want to be clear, she didn't say end the school resource officers. Okay, she did not say that. She wants to end the city from paying for a school resource officer. Now, in the video that we have from a week ago, she does show makes some comments that kind of alludes to, I don't know if you need them or not, and that's not a quote, okay? But the city shouldn't have to pay for it, is what she said, okay? Now, this comes off where, City of Blue Ridge, Johnny Searcy, Chief of Police Johnny Searcy, sources say has made comments in the past that a school resource officer is just a glorified babysitter, okay? So, and the City of Blue Ridge, the Chief of Police, is pushing for different pay rates for his officers, okay? But Councilwoman Angie Arp says there's not enough money to pay for this. So this is what this graph says. First, I'm going to read you this article. There's 2 articles today that I'm going to read to you. Blue Ridge school resource officer position eliminated in Angie Arp's budget cuts. Now, Ms. Arp wants to give the impression in the city of Blue Ridge that she wants to cut the budget. It's time to save money. And that's where we're going to get into her instigated losses versus her proposed savings. In this article here on Fetcher News, Fannin County by Laura Love, Blue Ridge Elementary School resource officer position eliminated in Angie Arp's budget. Councilmember Angie Arp is on a crusade to save money. This is a quote from her. We are getting our money. Are we getting our money's worth? Are we getting our money's worth? Asked numerous times during the September 9th special called meeting of the Blue Ridge City Council. One of her proposed ideals for the city of Blue Ridge budget rewrite is to eliminate the school resource officer at Blue Ridge Elementary School. Arp brought up eliminating the school resource officer position at the September 6th Blue Ridge City Council meeting. At the 19th meeting, Arp agreed to wait until the school resource officer's current year contract ran out its course before re-proposing to eliminate the position. So she has agreed to allow it to fulfill this year before it is renewed. All 5 schools in Fannin County have a school resource officer. The county government funds 2 officers. The Board of Education funds 2 officers. And the City of Blue Ridge funds 1 officer. That'd be Blue Ridge Elementary School. At first, only the middle school and the high school had SROs. However, after December massacre of 20 elementary school students in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, Sheriff Dane Kirby called the Fannin County School Superintendent Mark Henson and said that the elementary schools need SROs. According to Superintendent Henson, the school system did not have enough money to fund the positions at that time. So the county proposed to step in with 2 positions and the city of Blue Ridge with 1 position. Mayor Donna Whitener said at the September 19th meeting, "I am thankful we have them every year. So she stated, "We are elected to care for the city. If we have $50,000, let me know where it is." So she's looking for the money to put into the resource officers. Now, FetcherNews.com, this is an article you can find on Fannin County. FetcherNews.com contacted Blue Ridge Elementary School to find out what an SRO does. Okay, Lisa Jackson, Blue Ridge Elementary School student specialist, described what she has seen of the SROs during the 16 years at the elementary school. So she goes on to explain all the duties that an SRO completes throughout the day, not a glorified babysitter according to some. Superintendent Henson described, if it's your child at the Blue Ridge Elementary School and you're paying the tax money, and we're going to look at the waste, okay? Superintendent Henson describes some extra roles of an SRO. They aren't school system employees. They work for the sheriff's office, which give them the power to arrest, said Henson. State policy does not require schools to have SROs. The school system, the sheriff's office, and the city of Blue Ridge decided SROs are a public service that the three agencies can work together to provide. Now, this is interesting. This is where we're going to get to our graph. The total cost of the SROs is $50,000 per year. All right? This includes salary, health care, and employer taxes. All right? ARP and fellow council member Rodney Kendall believe that the school system should fund the SROs. They think the school should. So this is their position, okay? If you want an SRO, Councilman Rodney Kendall and Councilwoman Angie Arp think that the school system should fund it, not the city of Blue Ridge. Now, that is an argument that somebody may want to make, all right, where the funding comes from. Now, Ms. Arp is trying to cut the budget and look like a budget hawk. But behind me, you will see a graph that we will discuss a little later here on how many times the wastefulness of the decisions made by Councilwoman Arp, how many years she could fund a school resource officer if she was not making the decisions she was making and trying to single-handedly run the city by herself. Okay? ARP said that the school system should use SPLOST funds to pay for the position. Now, ARP knows, or should know, City Council member Angie Arp should know that SPLOST money cannot be used for salaries. Before she made this comment, she should know you cannot use the SPLOST money. Can't do it to pay salaries. You're not allowed to pay salaries out of the SPLOST. They are for capital improvements, buildings, water systems, whatever it may be. All right? But Councilwoman Angie Arp said, hey, maybe they should use the SPLOST funds to pay for the position. Unbeknownst to ARP, SPLOST funds only pay for capital outlay projects. It's illegal to pay for salaries with SPLOST funds. So that is the first article you will find. Later today, you will find this article at FetcherNews.com. You'll find this graph, okay, Fannin County. You'll find this article later today on FetcherNews.com. I have the preview for you this morning, and you'll only hear it here. So SROs, school resource officers, let's recap. Okay, county pays for 2, Board of Education pays for 2 according to that article, and the City of Blue Ridge pays for 1, the Blue Ridge Elementary School. All right? Councilwoman Angie Arp wants to cut the budget, wants to cut that out of the budget, and says they can save $50,000, so they want to cut out the school resource officer at Blue Ridge Elementary School. Say, hey, Board of Education, take it out of your SPLOST funds, all right? But we don't want to pay for it. Now, let's just say, for example, that Councilwoman Angie Arp was really trying to save money. We're going to support that here. It was really trying to cut the budget. Now, you didn't hear me say support cutting an SRO. That is another conversation in itself, who pays that bill, okay? All right? So, we're not saying cut SROs, But let's say that Angie Arp, Councilwoman, really wants to save on the budget and cut the budget. That's fine. I think a lot of people would support a budget hawk. But ARP's other proposed savings, these are her other proposed savings. This article's coming out later today. Not paying bills, not using civil engineers, and rejecting grant money. I'm telling you folks, Angieville, hashtag Angieville, this lady is taking over. You realize, and I'm going to call it the engineering schematic. I don't know what would be properly what I should call this, but you understand, Blue Ridge has, and as my old friend would say, Frank would say, their water system's a menagerie. It's a menagerie. Ain't nobody knows all. I have to tell you, and I say this, a lot of times they find their water pipes in Blue Ridge by the next one that bursts. They need an engineered fix to Blue Ridge infrastructure bad. Okay? Angie Arp. Are we getting our money's worth? This is her crusade. Are we getting our money's worth? Crusade extends beyond funding Blue Ridge Elementary School resource officer. ARP proposes saving $50,000 there. At the August 26 Blue Ridge City Council meeting, ARP proposed and then made a motion that the city of Blue Ridge not pay its $5,000 bill to Morganton resident Rick LaRosa for his firm's design for the city park bathrooms. Councilmember Kendall concurred that the mayor had told him that the design was free. Hey, could you get him on the phone? I hear he's doing free work. I got some things I need done. All right, free work. Told him the design was free. So council members Herndon, Pack, and Arp and Kendall voted not to pay. We heard it was free. We're not going to pay you the $5,000. Mayor Whitener and council member Thomas were not at that particular meeting. In an email prior to the meeting, City Attorney David Siphon said, now this goes together with the SRO, because the SRO is over here. She's saving $50,000, right? Over here, hey, I'm going to save $5,000 just by not paying the bill. Now this is from the this is from the Blue Ridge City Council Attorney David Siphon. In an email prior to the meeting, City Attorney David Siphon said about the contract with LaRosa, I understood the city, at least for Rick's fees, only had the $5,000 at risk. See, even there's an admission here that there was a fee for $5,000 that the city, that's all they were at risk of having to pay is $5,000. If they didn't go through with it, they decided they didn't want to do the bathrooms, they didn't want to get the grant, we'll get into that. The only risk was $5,000. But no, Angieville convinced everybody, because they're not going to go against her. Go to a meeting. Oh, Angie comes up to the mic. I like Rodney Kendall. Bruce Pack. You make your own decision. Okay, and I'm not going to say one bad word against Harold Herndon. But I'm going to tell you now, go there, when Angie Arp comes up and says she doesn't want to pay something or she's going to do something, you watch the rest of them. Oh, you're not going to turn against Angie. No, there's going to be no compromise. Not in Angieville. The city attorney, David Siphon, said about the contract with LaRosa, I understand the city, at least for Rick's fees only, had the $5,000 at risk. This was before the meeting, okay? When FetcherNews.com asked Mayor Whitener about the $5,000 bill, she said, and this I quote, Angie got him to do the drawing. Angie knew Rick was getting $5,000 and discussed with LaRosa what the design cost would be if the city scales back the project. Quote, ARP had told the council that she could draw out a plan herself and arrange local contractors to build. Angie said, why we need this right here? Why we need the $5 grand? I can draw it myself on a napkin. I can draw. She didn't say a napkin, okay? God forbid. You got to be careful up there in Angieville. She said, I could draw it out myself, call a couple contractors. I could have it done in a week for a lot less money. Whoa. Hey, we got the video. All right, arrange local contractors to build. When asked about it by Fetcher News, Mayor Whitener responded that the bathrooms are a commercial building and are required by law to have licensed architects to design them. ARP's proposed savings is $5,000, not to pay Rick LaRosa, the architect that designed this. Now, let me say this before I go on. If you ever wonder in our articles, why we only have quotes from Mayor Donna Whitener or Councilmember Rhonda Thomas, that's because we have been given, FetcherNews.com has been given a total blackout by City Council member Angie Arp. Will not talk to us, will not speak to us, and will not interview with us. I would love to give her an opportunity to come sit right here and tell me everything that I'm wrong. I will be quiet as you are shocked out there, and I would let her tell me that. I would let her sit down. I would hope that she would sit down with Laura Love, the reporter in Fannin County that is writing these stories and going to the meetings, and sit down. She's more than welcome. But City Council member Angie Arp has given the blackout freeze to FetcherNews.com and will not make comments. So I do not want you to think this is going together for the SRO officer. You need to stay with this. We're not done. Art proposes that she can whittle down the $1 million plus. Now get this one. She can whittle down the $1 million plus East Main Street renovations by picking and choosing which parts of the project to work on. The East Main Street renovation project is set up to solve several downtown problems at one time, repairing sidewalks to meet ADA requirements and the increased visual aesthetics, replacing outdated water and sewer infrastructure and paving the street, outdated water and sewer, and repaving the street. This way, downtown life will be interrupted for one time rather than many different and sporadic times. Meaning they want to get everything done at one time so the downtown East Main Street renovation project is finished. Finished. Everything. Sewer, water, all the renovations is done, finished. But no, she wants to pick and choose. ARP's first concern is paving the street. She did not say if infrastructure repair should occur while the street is being repaved or after the new pavement is there. ARP is concerned about the price because she heard third or fourth hand about the project specs and what the 200 to 300 pages of specs concern. Okay? At the September 19th City Council meeting, ARP told the council that the way the engineering firm sets specs that are above standard and are more than what the county and state require. Now, she's an engineer too. I mean, she's amazing. This woman's amazing. She's an engineer. She understands everything about the engineering. She understands she can get some people over there to build the bathrooms just like this. I mean, she's on top of it all. We shouldn't have to go above specs. Other counties don't do it. We don't need an engineered design. Now, up at the top here, you will see $300,000 of the ARC grant, which ARP declined. We're going to talk about that, okay? Now, over here on the savings side, do you see proposed savings of up to $400,000 from choosing to eliminate unspecified parts of East Main Street renovation? I'm telling you, she's running the show, folks. She wants to be the CEO, and she wants to be mayor, and she wants to switch it to be a strong mayor. Which, you know, if they vote to do that, that's what they do. Okay, we don't need engineering designs. Mayor Whitener reminded her that there are still some unresolved problems that smoke test in the sewer system found. Councilmember Rhonda Thomas said that when the project first started, that the city uncovered many issues, like fire hydrants hadn't been hooked up properly. Thomas told ARP that an engineered design helps the city plan for different scenarios from stormwater to drainage. Okay, stormwater drainage. ARP has taken it upon herself to contact Matt Smith. She took it upon herself. I mean, hey, she doesn't like what you say, she'd take it right upon herself. Hey, she's running the show. Angieville. ARP took it upon herself to contact Matt Smith, the engineer assigned by Carter and Sloop to oversee the project. She is negotiating with him about which parts of the project can be done away with or put off until later. It is not sure what council motion gave her the authority. So the article says, no one's sure what council motion, what motion was made that gave her the authority to enter these negotiations and start cutting and whittling away, okay? Gave her the authority. Carter and Sloop also contracts with the Fannin County government. They are currently working with Fannin County Water Authority on water lines and water main placements. Carter and Sloop is doing a lot of work in Fannin County at this time, their engineering firm. ARP's proposed savings is up to $400,000. Potentially future cost to downtown businesses and city for not making all the necessary repairs is uncalculated. So she may look at, she's going to cut that East Main Street project by $400,000 here and there, whittle it down, what they don't need, but there's unforeseen future cost of what it would be not to go ahead and get everything done at one time. That's what this article is claiming. So the necessary repairs is uncalculated. ARP's actions mirror the council's decision to install a sprinkler system and the newly landscaped City Park. The decision was made after City Park was torn up, sod laid, and new planning installed. So after they get the park tore up, the sod's laid, they decide they're going to put a water sprinkler system in. ARP wants to reduce the cost of repaving Blue Ridge streets. The council only received one sealed bid for the project from Johnson Paving Company for $100,000. Yeah. Angie take on anybody. She's like, she's like that prize fighter that puts the thing out. She takes on all comers. Come on, I will take you on. I am in no fear. ARP wants to reduce the cost of paving. The council only received one sealed bid for a project from Johnson Paving Company. ARP believes this is too high. Unfortunately, the council cannot advertise for another sealed bid at this time because ARP announced in 2 public meetings that Johnson's Paving Company submitted a $100,000 bid. Let me just explain to you. If you do a sealed bid, you can tell me where I'm wrong, but if you do a sealed bid for your county, your city, any municipality, and you only get one bid, okay? And let's say your clerk, which would be Kelsey at this time, would be Rita over at the county. So let's just say the proper way to do it would be to say, for the mayor to say, next we want to talk about the Blue Ridge City Street paving project, the bids. The clerk, Kelsey, would say, we only received one bid, it is sealed here. Then a council member would have the right to say, I think we should put it back out for bid, okay? Back out for bid. That's what they're allowed to do because I think we really need 2 or 3 bids to make this decision. Then they legally can vote to put it back out to bid. That way, number one, you don't know who was in the sealed bid. You don't know who's in the sealed bid, and you don't know the value of the sealed bid. That way, when you put it back out for bid, people don't know that they need to come in at $98,000, whatever the case may be. But Angie ARP goes into a meeting, and after it's announced that, Johnson Paving has a $100,000 bid twice in public, and the only bid, and she goes on and on. Everybody's seen this in public. Several reporters from several other news outlets seen this. She goes on and on about, Johnson's Paving's bid's too high, and she doesn't want to accept it, and she wants a new bid. You can't do that now. You can't do that. They could have. All right? So, ARP wants to reduce the cost of paving. ARP believes it's too high. Unfortunately, the council cannot advertise for the other sealed bids at this time because ARP announced in 2 public meetings that Johnson Paving Company submitted a $100,000 bid. This negates the possibility of advertising for more bids because now other companies know what they must bid lower than. So Johnson Paving, she's not happy with your bid. The council is running out of time to pave roads using state money. Each year, the DOT returns gas tax money for road repair to local governments based on the amount of road miles inside the government's tax digest. The plan was to bundle the 2014-15 money together to pay for East Main Street renovations. However, those have been continually delayed. If 2014 money is not spent by January 2017, the city loses the money. ARP's proposed savings, but by not hiring Johnson Paving, is undetermined. So the whole idea of the article is it's undetermined what these proposed savings are at the risk of losing money. At the risk. A full picture of ARP's proposed savings emerges when compared to ARP's actions that have cost the Blue Ridge taxpayers. I'm going to take a break. We're going to finish this article. We are going to finish this article, and we are going to go over that chart if it takes us the whole hour. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Blue Ridge City Council, a.k.a. Angieville. George will be up at 10 o'clock. George will be here at 10, and he'll do a solid hour between 10 and 11. George's opinion, state and national. I'm your host, BKP. Take us a break.
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get any 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Get any toppings, any crust flavor, anything you want for just $6.99 each. And sweeten the deal with a Hershey's Triple Chocolate Brownie for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited, now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT, now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, America. The first ever $5 flavor menu is here, and it's a game changer. For just $5 each, you can get a medium one-topping pizza, Wing Street Wings, a Hershey's cookie, and your other Hut favorites. A Pizza Hut pizza for just $5. It's the ultimate crowd pleaser.
How are you feeling, crowd?
Very pleased, thank you.
We do what we can here.
$5 for a Pizza Hut pizza. How can we not be pleased?
Good crowd today.
The $5 flavor menu, America's best pizza deal, only at Pizza Hut.
Okay, and we're back. While we were away, we have a couple text messages, but I want to read this one. Our number is 706-889-9700. So the city, that's Blue Ridge, so the city of Blue Ridge can pay for a tag scanner. No problem, but protect the children. That's a concern. Signed, concerned family member of kids in Blue Ridge. Folks, when Police Chief Johnny Searcy and I protested that purchase, wanted to buy a tag scanner to scan everybody's license plate in the city of Blue Ridge, he was going to bring in this enormous amount of money. So maybe you could take the enormous amount of money that Police Chief Johnny Searcy, that you just rubber stamped City Council member Angie Arp, and you rubber stamped that, and it was going to pay for itself in a matter of months and make the city an enormous amount of money by giving your visitors and residents tickets because their license plate had been scanned. Maybe you can use that money that you didn't care to spend and you weren't looking at cutting costs that day. So that came in. Let's see. At the August, now let's go to this. We're going to have to move very quickly here. At the August 26th meeting, ARP persuaded the council to reject a $300,000 Appalachian Regional Commission grant. Reject it to build a restroom welcome center at the site of the bathrooms on the corner of East Main and Church Street. That would be bundled together with $225,196 from the city and $355,750 from SPLOST in her argument. She incorrectly informed the council that the city does not know if they were to have the $355,750 from SPLOST because it hasn't been voted on yet. However, that money, if from SPLOST in 2010 and not SPLOST in 2016 funds, must be spent on capital outlay projects that the voters decide on when voting SPLOST. The money cannot be taken from one project and put onto another. ARP also added that the $880,000 facility was too much. She used the same argument that she did with the East Main Street renovations. Namely, government grants require building specifications, vendors and contractors that end up costing much more than it would if the city arranged the project entirely on its own without grants. So ARP said, if you go it alone, go it alone, just city can pay for it. Go it alone, it won't cost as much. She also said the cost of submitting the grant and that the city may be forced to pay out an architectural contract for the building design it doesn't use will leave the city with a bill it can't afford to pay. Now, Angie Arp, I have to ask you, now all of a sudden, after Ada Street LLC, the lawsuit on the rezoning there, after the Gerard and Davis investigation, after everything you wasted in your term thus far, you are going to tell the citizens that the city may be forced to pay out an architectural contract on a building design it doesn't use will leave the city with bills it can't afford to pay? That's your concern now? I mean, I'm glad you have a concern that there's maybe a bill you can't afford to pay, but now? The thing is, the city had already been awarded the grant back in December 2015. The actions the council needed to make in August were just tidying up loose ends, okay? In an August 22nd email, Angela Steedley, the city's grant writer and consultant, warned all council members that the $300,000 ARC grant and future ARC grants were in jeopardy if the council did not complete everything for the application. Mayor Whitener validated Steedley's statement. Whitener said that when Bill Sowers was city clerk, the city had applied for a community block development grant, received it, but never spent the money. CBDG officials called Sowers and told him that the city would not receive further grants because the city did not use them. Mayor Whitener continued saying that the city needs to apply for $300,000 to $400,000 in infrastructure grants each year because the aging water infrastructure problems in the city. Blue Ridge is about to lose its funding cushion it had for water infrastructure repairs because the city must make along Church Street from the Catholic Church to behind the jail. Not getting the ARC grants will hurt residents, roads, and people getting water, said the mayor. House Speaker David Rawson and Blue Ridge organizations like Blue Ridge Mountains Art Association sent in letters of support for the ARC grant. If you started alienating those folks, you lose help, said Mayor Whitener. ARP's cost to the city is $300,000 plus future grants and locally community and political support. ARP, as well as other council members, is at the center of the city's park playground debacle. That's what she calls it, the city park playground debacle. ARP's decision to rip out the newly installed landscaping to put the playground back in its original location could cost the city $60,000. The Von Jordan Foundation granted the city $120,000 to build the horticultural and, I don't know what that is, in the city park along the playground. The foundation will not ask the city for the $600,000 of the grant it has already spent. They're not going to ask for it back. They're not going to ask for what they spent already back. However, Mayor Whitener said that the city will not receive the remaining $60,000 until the park renovation is complete and is acceptable to the foundation. Currently, the city is not fulfilling its contractual obligations to the Von Jordan Foundation. While the council was deciding which end of the park, they can't decide which end is up, folks. While the council was deciding which end of the park the playground should go. Yes, I'm serious. They're trying to figure out where to put a playground. ARP was already designing the landscaping. According to the mayor, ARP picked out all the landscaping and also chose to forgo a sidewalk which would wrap around the park. Now, I'm closing this up for a reason. I'll bring this around for a reason. ARP and other council members also tabled voting on the playground equipment until it was too late for Blue Ridge Kiwanis to apply for a grant which would pay for the playground equipment. I'm just reading this article. This will be out later today, FetcherNews.com, Fannin County. ARP and other council members also tabled voting on a playground equipment until it was too late for the Blue Ridge Kiwanis to apply for a grant which would pay for the playground equipment. After presenting the city park design to the public, Mayor Whitener left playground equipment magazines in the city hall so that the council members could choose which ones to buy. The members didn't choose until ARP presented her selection of $97,000 of playground equipment at the August 26th City Council meeting. If we had applied for the Kiwanis grant in 2015, we would have received $100,000 for the equipment, said Mayor Whitener. ARP's cost to the city, $97,000 for playground equipment, plus the potential $60,000 more for unfulfilled grant obligations. Now let's just say that's right at $150,000 there alone. Let's just say that is. Let's see, would that be 3 years? 3 years of a Blue Ridge Elementary School resource officer? 3 years alone on that? ARP's legal expenses, by the way, have cost taxpayers money. ARP initiated this, a $35,000, almost 1 year. Your kids, folks, your kids. Now, I'm not making the school resource officer argument today. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Okay? Here's what I'm saying. Let's just say the taxpayers, which should be in charge, which it should be their money, want this school resource officer. Let's just say that, okay? $35,000 because she does not like Donna Whitener, and some of her friends don't like Donna Whitener, and they wanted rid of the mayor, Donna Whitener. Simple as that. Shall I repeat it? Angie Arp does not care for Mayor Whitener. Some of Angie Arp's friends, and you know who you are, do not care for Mayor Whitener. But the citizens of the city of Blue Ridge overwhelmingly voted her back in. They voted her back in even with the question of where she lived. They voted her back in even under protest of some people down at the state at the election commission. They voted her back in, whether you like it or not. But because Angie Arp, oh, let's not forget Patrick Crane, the concerned citizen that kept coming to the podium. I don't know, maybe he was set up to come to the podium, maybe him and some of his friends, maybe one of his friends that he hauled off all the metal from. Oh, you know it, and I know it, Patrick, where you hauled off all that metal. You know it. Maybe they were set up. Maybe it was all a setup. Maybe it was all a setup. But were they taking your kids into consideration of a school resource officer when they spent $35,000 to see if they could get the mayor out of office because she violated the charter? ARP's legal expenses have also cost the taxpayers money. ARP initiated a $35,000 Gerard and Davis inquiry into the city council to see if Mayor Whitener was legal resident of Blue Ridge. Gerard and Davis said she is. Gerard Davis also noted the regrettable levels of unbecoming behavior by certain city's elected officials. The regrettable level of unbecoming behavior. I wonder who that is. The city, though, is the city through its liability carrier is also paying ARP's defense in the Ada Street LLC litigation. Angie Arp, as well as other city council members, make $6,000 a year for her public service. The mayor receives $8,400 a year. So if it's true, there's a couple things I'm going to wrap up with. If it is true that city council member Angie Arp, okay, now I'm going to use the parallel. You're trying to cut the budget. Now we heard Pocahontas up there yesterday, that's Elizabeth Warren, telling the CEO of Wells Fargo that should you not give back your bonus money, should you not return your salary after what has taken place with the losses of Wells Fargo, and we can't go down that road. Somebody asked the same thing. Councilwoman Angie Arp, for the $35,000 spent unnecessarily on an investigation, for everything that has taken place, do you not think that you should give your $6,000 salary back to the citizens of Blue Ridge that you get and receive per year on account of the cost and what has taken place? Now, I'm going to look at this graph for a minute, and I'm going to make a couple more comments, and we're going to end our show for the day. I got to get that out of the picture, don't I? Okay, now. Huh? And my water bottle. Come on out of here. Okay, now what you see here, which I can't see because I don't have my glasses on, what you see here is Angie Arp's proposed savings. And you have up here the 500,000. You see, you got the 500,000, right? And you've got right here the 400,000 mark, proposed savings of up to 400,000 from choosing to eliminate unspecified parts of the East Main Street renovation. Then you have $5,000 she decided to not pay an invoice to Rick LaRosa, which we have an email from David Siphon, the city attorney, stating basically, I pretty much think that was an agreed on number, but she decided not to pay that $5,000. Then we have the $50,000. These are her, supposed savings. Then we have the $50,000 from the elimination of the Blue Ridge Elementary School resource officer. Okay? That's what she wants to do. Cut that. All right, there you go. Now, if you look over here, which there's some things not on it, and this is on the article, you got the $97,000 for playground equipment. Okay? $300,000 from the ARC grant, which ARC declined. She declined it. Now remember, on the bathrooms of the city of Blue Ridge, okay, on those bathrooms, she said she could draw it out and she can get some contractors together and do it for a lot less. Fine, okay. $300,000 ARC grant, which ARC declined. Then, Gerard and Davis, $35,000 because she doesn't like the mayor. That's simple. Her and some friends of ARP. That's what we should call them, the friends of ARP. They don't like the mayor. They got together in their secret meeting. I call them the Fannin Cartel. Fannin Cartel got together. They don't like the mayor. Hashtag Fannin Cartel. Okay? So $35,000. And then, hey, how about her $6,000 a year annual salary for city council services? Not to count what Ada Street LLC has cost, the lawsuit. List goes on and on and on and on. They could take the money they're squandering in the city of Blue Ridge, which is yours, which they forget is your money, and they could take that and possibly pay 4 years of a school resource officer. So again, I'm not making a decision or arguing the should or shouldn't on a school resource officer. That is up to them on what budget. But to have the nerve to come out and say that I don't think we should pay for the school resource officer, let the school system pay for it, okay. But don't use that you're cutting the budget and you're cutting cost and don't use that as your reasoning. When I can count 4 years, basically, that could be saved. Now, on top of that, we just had a beautiful festival. Okay? A beautiful festival, Blues and Barbecue. I enjoyed it. I go up there every year. Okay, maybe I'm one of the bad guys, to Bruce Pack that like the festivals. I don't know, maybe I should release to Bruce Pack, I'm not from here. I've only been here 16 years and there's not an official qualifying time to be here. Okay, maybe you should know that. It's real simple, folks. They don't like these festivals in their town. They don't want these festivals in their town. They want to go back 20 and 30 years. The comments have been made of what Blue Ridge was 20 and 30 years ago. That's fine. That's what they want to do. Okay? Period. That's what they want to do. Now here it's real simple. And I'm going to say something to wrap this up because George is coming in and you know me very well by now, BKP, that I can't finish without saying something very controversial. Angie Arp can't stand Donna Whitener. Did I break any news to you? And Johnny Searcy cannot stand Dane Kirby. Did I break any news to you? And guess what? Johnny Searcy and Angie Arp are close friends. Did I break any news to you? Let me tell you what should be happening for the citizens, the best interest of the people that pay taxes to that city. Put all your vendetta crap aside and quit going after each other. And for the best interest of your children, your city, and the businesses that bring in the tax money every year. I'm your host, BKP. God forbid I finish up without saying something that everybody might take issue with. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. And George McClellan's going to be in here, and he is going to spend an hour telling you what he thinks, his opinion on state and national issues. We're going to close up now, and right after, and then tonight at 7 o'clock, Circuit World in Blue Ridge. I will be up there at Circuit World in Blue Ridge at 7 o'clock tonight for a Rebel wrap-up with Coach Jim Pavo and the players. I enjoyed being at Circuit World in East Ellijay last night with the Gilmer County coach, Casey Wingard. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Look forward to tonight, 7 o'clock, FYN TV. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be back at 8 a.m. I guess that's what time I'll be here. And tomorrow we will talk more about the Super Bowl of the debate. Don't forget, before I leave, Monday night, doors open at 8:30 at Pools Barbecue in East Ellijay. I don't know where Pools Barbecue is. It's the yellow and red building, and it's got the Pig Hall of Fame. Pig Hill Hall of Fame. I got that right. Pig Hill Hall of Fame. You ever drive by and say, my God, what is all those pigs on the side of the hill? That's the Pig Hill Hall of Fame by our good friend Colonel Oscar Poole. East Ellijay, over here, red and yellow building. Doors open at 8:30. We are going to watch the debate. There's plenty of room. Everybody is welcome. No matter what candidate you support, seriously, you're welcome to come join us. Two things I guarantee: you'll be able to hear it and you'll be able to see it, okay? That's a guarantee. And afterwards at 10:25, when it goes off, we're going to go live, FYNTV.com. We're going to have a room full of people, and you come and voice what you think happened in the debate and how you feel the debate went. We're going to have a live town hall right after that at Pools Barbecue in East Ellijay. I'm your host, BKP. George will be right here in about 3 to 4 minutes, so stay tuned.